Okay, so welcome back to my channel. I wanted to show you guys something. When you are, sorry, let me scooch it a little more. Sorry about that. Um, I'm kind of using my phone right now because my camcorder is being stupid and I broke one of the things that holds it into my tripod. Anyway, so I'm winging it for now. But if you have, excuse me, a background, like say I did this camel, and I've been doing a color along on my channel with this. I finished up like this part and the wrappings and this part and that part, kind of off camera. I think I did a really good job. Just saying. Anyway, what instead of it, like I've messed up multiple backgrounds, okay, and I've ruined some really nice pages where the image came out like this, like fantastic, right? But then I went to do the background, I completely screwed it up. It makes you kind of want to cry. So what I have decided to do, since I don't want to mess this up, I have a light box. It's a little jacked up, as you can see. I've got the little, yeah. Anyway, I kind of cracked the top of it. I'm kind of amazed it still works. Duct tape really does fix everything. Anyway, so what you can do is find a paper that's equal to the paper that you're using. And in this case, this is Johanna's book. Sorry about that. And let me get out a little more. Turn your light box on, which I just did inadvertently. And if this paper is very similar to her paper. Now, I may need to up this a little more. That may be as high as it goes. Anyway, let's see. There we go. It does go higher. I haven't used it in a really long time, but as you can see, all I want to do in this case, I don't have a paper that's her 10 by 10, is just kind of, I'm choosing to go wider because I want to get around more of it. And if I do it this way, it's not going to show as much of the background. So I kind of decided to turn it sideways. Now you might see some of the opposing image on the other side. Just ignore it. Just do a brief outline. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be nothing like detailed, just kind of the basic outline. Like with a number 2 pencil or something like a 2B, which is what a number 2 pencil is. And just do kind of a nice outline. And then take it off of the light box. And practice your background on this. And that way, if you mess it up, you're not messing up your really nice image. And as you can see, without this cardstock over, you can't see the image on the other side. But when you put the paper down, it kind of covers most of that up. Not all of it, but I highly recommend a light box. These things are really cool. So I'm going to trace this and I'll be back. As you can see here, I have my rough sketch, and this is a super rough sketch, mind you. This is the rough outline that I did of the main image, and then I did that, and I may have to make that a little bit smaller. And I'm going to color that with these water-soluble crayons and maybe some watercolors and see what happens. Something you can do once you've gotten most of your layer down, I got to put a little darker brown, maybe a little black, is take some liquid masking tape, and because I want to preserve these hill lines, I'm going to take some liquid masking tape and like the end of a wooden skewer and just draw it along these lines, and hopefully it should preserve that. So I'll be back. Yeah, I don't know if you can see where the liquid masking tape is drying. You gotta let that dry like totally or it's not gonna work. So let's get this wet. Okay, so I'm back, and as you can see, I have blacked out the rough outline of the camel. And if you're wondering what these are, I'll show you. Hold on. Whoops. Sorry you didn't see that mess. It's the things hanging from the camel's neck. So that's what they are. This is just merely a rough outline. Find a place to sit this down. There we go. Because my phone holder is broken. Anyway, so I've kind of sketched it out. Now I made a mistake and I used the full length of the page, which I had turned sideways, so that this in the back is too big. See? So, you know, that's okay though. It's not a big deal. You know, I just had to scale it down on a different drawing. But I wanted to show you how I kept the lines for the sand dunes. And basically I had that tape, that liquid masking tape, and you just kind of take your finger and you gently pull, and I mean just gently, because if you do it too rough, you can sort of tear your paper. See? And it just comes off even with one hand. Ta-da! And there it is. See? And I know this isn't like the most refined ever. Like, I get it. It kind of doesn't matter. This is a good way to test out your colors. And these are basically the colors that I used. They're just my old Artist Loft water-soluble crayons that I picked to get a general idea of if these colors or something like them was going to work, rather than use my expensive, you know, gelatos or Lyra water-soluble crayons. You know, I just picked something cheap just so that I could get an idea. And it really works. I mean, you can see I could pick this off. It's a little sketchy with one hand, but that's all right. And you can see that I still have the overall outline. So you could do this on something like, oops, sorry, like this. I just would be very careful when you're picking it up, because if you're not careful, it can sort of tear the paper, depending on how much you've put down and how much paint you've put over it, and you know, whatever. But I mean, as you can see, I'm able to pick it off, albeit somewhat sketchy, with one hand. And so I still have the basic overall outlines, and I can say, well, you know what, this part looks really good because it reflects that. And of course I didn't do the sky, I just left it be. And I can tell that I put a little too much black right here, but a little's okay, but I think a little less. And I like the light brown, and maybe a little less red and a little more of the medium brown. And by putting this in, it kind of gives me an idea of roughly where my lines, my sand dune lines are, so that when I go to do it on the finished image, I kind of have taken some of the guesswork out of it. So I hope you found that helpful, and I will post a finished image of this, ta-da, with something that resembles that, minus the, you know, black part. So I hope you enjoyed that, guys. Have a good one.